Hello friends, my name is Fandral, and in today's video I want to talk about ascended crafting materials. In particular about Piles of Bloodstone Dust, Dragonite Ore, and Imperial Fragments. For a lot of players, these materials seem to be accumulating much faster than they can spend them. And if you go looking for advice online what to do with them, the replies are almost always the same. Craft vision crystals, or feed a limited amount to one of the 4 gobblers. The problem with this is that eventually you will run out of things to use vision crystals for, and those gobblers might not accept the whole quantity you still have left in your bank. The most common next step people do is just delete all the excess materials, because it starts cluttering their inventory and that's annoying. If this is you, I beg you, please stop. You're deleting gold right now. There are a few recipes in the game that allow you to spend these materials on, which you can sell on the trading post for a decent profit even. I'm gonna go over all of the recipes next. Let's first start with the Piles of Bloodstone Dust, which you mostly get from either gathering bloodstone crystals, from opening various chests in the game, as well as the airship cargoes in Verdant Brink. If you have a character with 450 Huntsman, you can actually craft maintenance oils with these. The most profitable of the 3 currently is the Toxic Maintenance Oil, which is often used by condition builds in high-end PvE. If you don't have the recipe yet, don't worry about this, you can simply buy it for a couple of silver on the trading post. The recipe requires 3 things: 3 piles of crystalline dust, 100 piles of our bloodstone dust, and 5 pristine toxic spores. Crystalline dust can be gotten either from salvaging ectos or just outright bought on a trading post, and the pristine toxic spores can be gathered from toxic seedlings in the Kessex Hills, or you can simply buy them on the trading post if you don't want to farm them. When you look at the material cost of the ingredients and the price of a toxic maintenance oil, you might get the idea that you're crafting at a loss. This, however, is not true at all. Each craft actually outputs 5 oils. This means that every time you craft toxic maintenance oils, you will be getting back about 63 silver if you decide to insta-sell them on the trading post, or you get about 80 silver if you list them instead. And even if you decide to go for the economically worst option and insta-buy the ingredients and insta-sell the maintenance oils, that would still amount to 4 silver profit each time you craft them. The next ingredient I want to take a look at is the Dragonite Ore. You can obtain these from gathering winter berries, dragon crystal nodes, and mystonium nodes, as well as various chests in the game again. Dragonite Ore is currently the worst of the 3 ascended materials to convert to gold, but a character with 450 weaponsmithing can make magnanimous sharpening stones and toxic sharpening stones. As with the toxic maintenance oil, the sharpening stones will require piles of crystalline dust and pristine toxic spore samples. The magnanimous version uses fire orchid blooms instead of the pristine toxic spores. The possible profit on neither of these is much lower than the bloodstone dust, however. If you were to insta-buy all the ingredients, you would be selling at a loss, which is not worth it. So only make these if you have no other avenue of spending your Dragonite Ore, and if you have the ingredients already in your bank, or by placing buy orders instead of buying the items outright. Every single craft once again outputs 5 sharpening stones, just like they do with the bloodstone dust. And then the final and probably most profitable item is the Imperial Fragments. These again come from various chests in the game, as well from gathering defluorite crystals, mistborn motes, and primordial orchids. A character with 450 artificing can make these into either toxic focusing crystals or into magnanimous tuning crystals. Both use crystalline dust once again as an ingredient, with the toxic focusing crystal requiring once more the pristine toxic spore samples, and the magnanimous version requires fire orchid blooms. The toxic focusing crystal is particularly enticing to make, as these go for quite a hefty price on the trading post currently. Even if you were to insta-buy the ingredients and then insta-sell the crystals on the trading post, you would still make 30 silver of profit per craft. If you have the materials at hand or use buy orders instead, your profit will increase even further. I just have one final note on crystalline dust, as this item is used in all of the recipes I've mentioned in this video. Very often it is much better to salvage globs of ectoplasm instead of buying the crystalline dust on the trading post. Salvaging an ecto yields anywhere between 1.5 to 1.8 piles of crystalline dust, depending on the quality of your salvage kit. If you're interested in the exact salvaging rates, you can find them on the Fast Farming website. And that about concludes this video. I hope more and more people will catch on to these recipes, as they are a very convenient way to get rid of the ascended crafting materials without deleting them and getting a bit of gold in return. If you have any comments, any questions, please leave them down below. If you liked it, please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos.